next Monday, August 29th at 7 p.m. at the Ross County Service Center. I will be sending an email with more detailed information. There will be some ground rules, as there was during the August 10th meeting that will be similar. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Cote. Anyone else have a community report? Mr. Tapman?
Thank you, President Arnold. There's one item on the agenda tonight. It has to be the committee on one, engineering committee. This has to do with the traffic flow in the alley next to Chillicothe School. I'm not sure if the potholes were filled yet or not, but we're going to go ahead and hopefully pass this tonight and get this on the go. And that's all I have. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Tapman. Anybody else have any committee other reports from the committee? Yes, Mr. Paul.
Yes, I'm speaking on behalf of the auditor, who could not be here tonight, but the auditor will be holding a budgetary review this Thursday at 6:30 in council chambers. So again, the budget review will be here in council chambers Thursday at 6:30. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Cole. Yes, Ms. Horton.
Yes, I'd just like to report on something from the Park and Rec Committee. We, during the fair week is usually a slow time, so we opened up the pool for free swimming in the afternoon, which was enjoyed by many, and due to the extreme heat, it ended up not being a very slow period, but I think a lot of people enjoyed it. But I'd like to thank the lifeguards and the staff for stepping up to the influx of citizens that enjoyed the pool. They will also be free after 3 o'clock admission for citizens. We're hoping that maybe some grandparents will come out with their preschoolers or kids that aren't in school yet, or just come and enjoy swimming without children. And I'd also like to report that we have several fountains that are now working in our city parks, some that have not worked for several years. We also have, and I don't know if Grafini's going to report on some of this, but we have cameras up in several locations, not all, in the parks, and so that will be being fed into the dispatch. So it also is an extra, security measure, but it's also extra eyes in our parks for our citizens. So I'm really happy to report that is going on, and that, and like I said, a lot of those restrooms. I'd also like to thank the Center Point Church for painting the bandstand and updating that in the park area. And I'd like to thank Bill Bonner for painting the grandstand, right? I get them confused. But anyway, there's been a lot of painting going on, but I'd like to thank Center Point Church once again for coming forward and doing something nice for our parks. And I'll let the mayor talk about the lowering of the lake and more of that, but that's all I have.
Thank you, Ms. Horton. Anyone else have anything they'd like to notice? Not seeing so, we have reports from our officials. Mayor Feeney.
Thank you, President Arnold. To report on tonight's lone agenda item, just a reminder of what we're talking about here. The alley, which is essentially adjacent to Tiffin School, is currently one way going east, and the proposed ordinance will make it two-way, essentially enabling better traffic flow for the school buses. The reason we had essentially tabled it for the past few months was to make sure that the two homes at the entrance to the alley were not adversely affected by this new direction of bus traffic. We've talked to the school district. It's been a good relationship with the school district working on this, and they report no encumbrances when they're having to turn in. So I'm confident that that two-way traffic will help the flow over there and be a positive thing for not only the school but that neighborhood. That alley is also on our list of 2016 paving projects, and I was just talking to Superintendent Saxon today. Because of last week's weather and rain, particularly, a lot of our projects have been pushed back about a week. We had every expectation that that paving would be done before school started. Unfortunately, it wasn't. As many of you know, Plyley's Lane, that paving has been completed in advance of school starting, which I think would have been a much more significant problem. But we look at Tiffin's, that alley, to be paved, probably not this weekend, but next, as there's some catch-up to do. Our contractor has worked not only in Chillicothe, but across the region. So we actually had the newspaper out today looking at that alley, and I think maybe a report on Sunday about the totality of this current paving project. To follow up on Councilman Cartier's report on the land bank, I do have some good and interesting news to report on the land bank. One of the in my mind, two issues that we were having trouble sort of really nailing down was one, who the specific administrator of the program would be. And what we've done is essentially said the administration will take care of the administration of the program unless and until we find a better way to do that. The second issue was finding the money to essentially pay for the first demolition or demolitions because even though the money is reimbursed to the land bank, it had to start from somewhere. There was recently guidance offered by OFA, who's the facilitator of the money, indicating that there's going to be a loan fund, an interest-free loan fund that we'll be able to apply to that may, I'm not going to commit to anything, but it may avoid us having to appropriate any money at all. I'm still going to do a committee council assignment request because when I submit the application, the grant application next week, I'm going to identify two potential funding sources. I'm going to say our number one priority is, or our number one goal would be this free money, seed money that they're offering. But number two, our backup, which essentially we talked about through the committee meetings, is that council has essentially voiced support for the fact that we know that some appropriation could be necessary. Councilwoman Patrick and Councilman Cartier were at the inaugural or kickoff meeting for the land bank. We kind of arrived at the idea that around $40,000 would probably be enough seed money and appropriation. The terms of the contract between the city and the land bank would have to be established. But essentially what that would do is allow us to probably get at least 2 demolitions done and get that money cycle kind of turning. But I'm hopeful that we won't have to put out upfront any of our own money. To follow up on Councilwoman Corcoran's report, she did report on a lot of the good things that have been happening in the park. One of the last things is, if anybody has been near the lake in the park recently, you may have noticed that it has a lot less water than it usually does, and it smells just a little bit worse than it usually does. That lowering process was to do the long-anticipated work to the bridge. We also took the opportunity to do a lot of cleaning. Mr. Bonner has, I believe, a list of all the items that he, either himself or with assistance, trudged out in the middle of that pond and pulled out himself. But it's quite amazing the amount of park benches and trash cans and unpleasant things that were in that lake. But that water is filling back up now, and I don't have offhand when the bridge work is supposed to be done, but everything that they need, the major lowering to be done, has been completed. Finally, we started today off with some relatively disgusting news. The city service garage on Riverside has a major bat infestation. And Safety and Service Director Carmen reported the problem to me this morning. I said, well, what are we talking about? 50, 100 bats, it sounds bad. He said, try somewhere between 1,000 and 1,500 bats in the service garage. It's pretty bad. So we have essentially quarantined the building. We are moving personnel, equipment, everything into the armory. But there's pretty serious health concerns potentially because of the, well, I'm not going to go there, but mess. And facility concerns are still sort of to be determined. We have an initial quote on just the Parks and Recreation side. For some, those who know, it's kind of split into 1/3 Parks and Rec and 2/3 service. Parks and Rec side has the worst of it, but it all needs work. The early and low estimate that we've seen is $15,000 for just a little bit of work on the extermination portion. That does not include the cleanup portion. That does not include the other half of the building, which is certainly contaminated. I basically authorized, whatever work that needs to be done to get us out of there safely. That's going to include probably having ServPro or some company like that come and clean our equipment before our folks are using it. If you're like me, you think to yourself, how did 1,500 bats get into a place without anybody noticing? I have not found the answer to that question, but it's been bad. I don't know where this is headed, but with the Thursday Finance Committee meeting, our budget review session already scheduled, there's some chance that we would need some emergency money appropriated to remediate the situation. To be completely honest, it's no secret that I've talked about my distaste for that building, and depending on the escalation of cost, I'm going to have a hard time sinking a bunch of money into getting it back to stuff if that money can be spent on something more useful. So I'll know a lot more within the next 24 hours. It does not appear we have an insurance claim, unfortunately, but we're working on it. So just have on your radar that with Thursday's 6:30 meeting for finance, is that right? We may try to do a 6 o'clock meeting or something around that if emergency money is necessary. We also had a pretty severe injury to one of the workers who was helping in the armory today. Pretty bad cut on a leg. He's okay, but just little moments like that remind us that in the city we sort of feel like a family. And when I heard he was sent out to the hospital, it was bad. And just happy that he's okay. And if anybody wants to ask me about it separately, I'll tell you what happened. A lot of you know the person who passed on well wishes. So that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mayor Feeney. Not to make light of the situation, but when you said put it on our radar for the future, we would talking about that radar. Okay. And our law director, Ms. Rutherford.
I'm afraid I can't talk now.
Please do.
Not report on anything.
Other reports? Okay. I really don't have anything to report at this time either. There's really no news for us to report on. Moving on, we move to audience participation. We do have a sign-in sheet for people that would like to speak. Signing on the sign-in sheet, you don't have to announce your address when you get up to the microphone. We do, through Council Rule 21, limit each speaker to speaking for 5 minutes and a total of 15 minutes on any given subject. If you get close to your, within 1 minute of your 5 minutes time, I will kind of give you some sort of an indication that your time's coming up. It should give you ample time to surmise your presentation. Anyone that wishes to speak, even after the sign-in sheet, is more than welcome to, but we will require you to come up to the microphone and give your name and address. I do have one person on the sheet, Mr. John Stevens.
Mayor Feeney, council members. I'm very disappointed in the way that the administration has handled the community park. The hill behind the cabooses has been spot mowed only for flat areas. Somebody went in there with a weed whacker and cut some of the Johnson grass down. It's like a hayfield there. But they purchased a mower to be able to mow the hills. apparently it's not working or it's used somewhere else. But that area has not been taken care of. The biggest thing I've got bringing up is the Park Lake. The city's got a golden opportunity to clean up the lake shore while the lake's been drained out. A lot could have been cleaned up with the backhoe from the bank. The biggest thing that upsets me, there are many dead fish floating, several over 20 inches long in the lake over the week. While a gathering of people were attending an auto cruise in the park over the weekend, the odor was far from pleasant and a very poor way to show off our park. While I was on top of the wind caboose replacing the window that had been broken, I counted 15 or more carp that were more than 20 inches long. They were very many along the shoreline. That was anywhere from 3 to 24 inches in length. It's a very poor thing to say. That kind of bunch of dead fish floating within 20 foot of the bank, where you put all these people without a lot of courtesy. In the late afternoon, we were in touch with the park director's wife and left a message regarding the condition of the lake. She replied that she thought it had been taken care of to give the message to her husband when he eventually came home. On the next time, the caboose again on the Sunday, replacing the window. And the wind was blowing many of the dead fish to the outlet of the lake. And they were still floating in the water there. And that's a very poor system for that Park Lake. That's one of the few things that sort of not to be taken proud. And much like business, you're not going to even have it. That's all I got to say.
Thank you, Mr. Stevens. Does anybody else have anything they want to address the council? Seeing none, we move forward with old business. Does anybody have any old business they'd like to bring up? Seeing any, petitions and correspondence that was received by the clerk. Mr. Paulson?
Mr. President, I have not received anything to report on, but I did want some clarification. We called this a budget review. Is it a review session? If so, there needs to be more than one council
It
member.
was just a,
If it's a finance committee meeting, that's another thing.
the auditor asked me to call it, so that she would present the budgets. I guess we could make it a, she can just call her. Yeah, for her meeting, it wasn't mine.
I understand that. She can't call meetings in council.
Well,
I'm sorry.
You're
this is
announcing
on
her
the
meeting.
trial. Go by the rules.
You're announcing her meeting, right? Yeah, it's not a council.
It's not a council meeting, it's a city meeting.
That's all I wanted to
okay,
clarify.
oh, okay.
Okay, thank you very
So it's
much.
just a city meeting.
Not trying to cause problems.
It's okay. No problem. Back a few weeks and that's it. Is there anything else? Okay,
That's it.
we move on to new business. Anybody have any new business? Yes, Ms.
Yes, I would like to ask at this time that we excuse Councilman Gray from this evening's meeting.
Motion to excuse Councilman Gray, seconded by Mr. Farina. Roll call on excusing Ms. Gray.
Artie,
Yes.
Clay,
Yes.
Corcoran,
Yes.
Florina,
Yes.
Neal,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Cole,
Yes.
Tapper.
Yes.
And we've excused Mrs. Gray from the meeting this evening. Any other new business? Not seeing any. Committee assignments and meeting dates. I've given out 3 assignments since our last meeting. request for legislation to accept and appropriate $4,136.42 that was received for an insurance claim regarding a leak at 26 South Main Street here in this building. The request for legislation to allow Chillicothe J.C.'s to use the Octangia Park and surrounding city streets for the annual 2016 Chillicothe J.C.'s and Evening Lions Halloween Parade on Saturday, October the 29th. And another assignment for legislation to accept and appropriate $1,731.40 received by the city for participating in an AEP energy efficiency program where we installed some LED lights. And the meetings, again, to kind of reiterate what was said, Mr. Cartier has called for community affairs meeting at the 7 o'clock at the Ross County Service Center on Monday the 29th, that's a week from today, and a city meeting, which is a budget review, is Thursday, 6:30 here in Chambers. That's all I have, and at this time, we move on to our legislation. So whenever you're ready, Mr. Paulson, item number 1.
Third reading of an ordinance authorizing a change in traffic direction for the alley that parallels and is north of Clay Street on the south side of Tiffin School from one-way to two-way and declaring an emergency. Third reading.
Roll call on that ordinance, please.
Cartee,
Yes.
Clay,
Yes.
Corcoran,
Yes.
Florina,
Yes.
Neal,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Cole,
Yes.
Tatman.
Yes.
And that ordinance has passed. At this time, if we have any other business, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn by Mr. Clay, seconded by Mr. Gray. Clay, seconded by Mr. Farina. Roll call on that motion, please.
Cartee,
Yes.
Clay,
Yes.
Corcoran,
Yes.
Florina,
Yes.
Neal,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Cole,
Yes.
Tatman.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are adjourned.